everyone, this is Lori and I'm the crafter in the mitten, and today I'm going to go over how to make this cute little password book. Now there's a couple reasons I want to make this little password book with you. First reason is because I wanted to go over how to make the 3-hole pamphlet stitch again with you. It's because the last time I made it I was off frame quite a bit and I wanted to make sure that everyone understood all the steps. It's a simple stitch, but it's one of the most common stitches when bookmaking, especially junk journals. So I just want to make sure that everyone has a clear understanding on how to do that. And the other reason is because I experimented and used this new, it's not really a new material, but a new to me material. It's a faux leather. It's a little vinyl, and I got this off of Amazon. And so I wanted to see how it would perform in making a book cover, and I think it turned out really well. Anyway, so come along and I'll show you how to make this journal. This is Lori, and I'm the crafter in the mitten. And today I thought what I would make is a password journal, or password book, I guess I should say. My sister-in-law is forever losing her passwords, and she didn't have a password book. I said, where do you write your passwords down? She says, I write it on a piece of paper and stuff it in my pocket. And I'm like, is that why you can't find your password? Because I was trying to help her with a password the other day. She goes, oh, maybe. I says, okay, I'm going to make you a password book. So that's what this is. So I made a Google document with this. It's just simple. It just says website, username, password, and you just fold it in half. It's printed on double-sided paper. And I'll go over that a little bit more here in a moment. And then I was on Amazon, and I seen these like faux leather sheets for sale, and I have never worked with it ever. And I thought, you know, I wonder if that would make a good book cover. So I bought a pack of it. It comes in 6 sheets. So here's my other sheets. I'm going to use that sheet here, this sheet here, for the book. But I want to show you these other ones just so you can see. So here's another printed one. And here's a real sparkly pink one. I can't tell. I don't know if you can tell how sparkly that is. Oops. And then there's a sparkly black one. It's got like pink and gold and turquoise sparkles. This one's really pretty. It looks like iridescent sequins. And then here's one just like a really light colored leather with a leather texture. So let me bring that up closer to the camera. Maybe you guys can see a little better. See, this has a texture. And then there's a little bit of sparkle in this. And then here's that black one. It's really pretty. And there's this one. And then the faux leather. And then again, I'm going to be using this sheet of it for her book. All right, so I just thought I'd show that to you. And like I said, I've never worked with it, so this is an experiment. But that's how you learn, is to experiment. And that's part of the fun of making journals or booklets or whatever. And so then here's that Ritz cracker box again. So I decided, I was originally just going to use this and then this cardstock that I'm going to line it with on the inside. And it's still kind of flimsy. So I thought, well, I guess I'll use the box, or the cracker box again. Cardstock, or I don't know, call it chipboard, lightweight chipboard or something. I don't know what you would really call it. And then so I figured, well, these lined together, it's going to give it a nice firmness to the book. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do. And if you want to make the same exact one, if you happen to find some of this on Amazon, and I'll try to leave a link in the bottom or below. So if you're interested in this particular package, and there's lots of different packages, but in case you're interested in trying it yourself. And this, I believe, I think this is like 13.5 inches long. And this is like 7.25 inch wide. Or I don't know how you'd say that. 7.25 inch tall, 13.5 inch wide, something like that. And so then I cut this chipboard, and this is the measurements here. So there's the measurements there. If you want to freeze the frame for a moment to write those down, you can. I'm thinking about posting this particular project on my blog, which is crafterinthemitten.com. You're welcome to do that if you want written instructions or you want a closer more close-ups of this. But anyway, for using this particular material, I cut the chipboard 6.5 or 6 3/4, excuse me, 6 3/4 inches tall, and then 5 3/4 inches wide. So 2 pieces of that, and then this little tiny spine. I decided to put a little tiny spine in it, which is just a 1/4 inch wide, and then of course the 6 3/4 inches tall. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to adhere these down to this fabric, or this faux leather, and I'm going to be using Fabri-Tac. Now, my Fabri-Tac bottle, oh my goodness, what a mess. It leaked. Oh my goodness. Anyway, somehow or another, the top of it got a crack in it. So I poured the rest of it in this little bottle. Of course, it's not labeled. It's this bottle is what's used for frosting to decorate cakes and whatever. Anyway, my Fabri-Tac, like I said, the bottle got a crack in it. So that's what we're doing there with that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, or adhere it down, however you want to word it. Okay, I'm from Michigan. We say glue down. So nothing, we're not fancy here. And I hope that didn't dry, because I don't really have a way to seal that. So I put that little pin in it and put some washi tape on it. And that I've had it in here for about a week or two. So I hope that the glue comes out, or I'll be upset if it doesn't. We will see right now if I'm going to be upset or not. Oh, I'm not going to be upset. Yay! So I'm going to put a bunch of this Fabri-Tac down. And I kind of want it up to the edges, but I don't want it to go over the edges. Alrighty. So I'm going to leave it about like that. I don't know how wide that is. I guess I can measure it real quick. About 3/4 of an inch to the side here. And then next I'm going to put the spine down. And then I like to take my ruler and I like to place it like right here just to make sure I have that lined up. Now I'm not going to leave a really big gap, just a small gap between these just so I can just as a little crease there. And then we're going to glue this one down. Okay. That looks about even. Make sure I push that up against the ruler. Oh man. Ooh, I'm not going to have enough room on the edge of this. Oh shoot. What if this is here down too far? Oh no, good. Oh, a little bit of wiggle room. Get this up. I should put it a little closer. Oh goodness. Need a little bit more room on the edge here to fold it over. Well, see, I make mistakes, but I caught it just in time. So let me put this about right here. that'll give me more room. But right there, I'm just gonna lightly lay that down. Scooch that up. And then I'm gonna lightly lay this down. Yeah, I think that'll be okay now. Oopsie. All right, let me pull that up out of the way before it gets all the way here down. Let me put some more glue on this. See, things like that happen. You just have to adjust as you go. Like I said, this is the very first time I've ever worked with this. So that's what kind of happens here. I just won't leave that tiny, need that more room. Okay. I think we're going to be okay though. Boy, this dried fast. It's all crunchy. I'm glad I got that pulled out of there in time. I've been bummed out because I would have had to use another piece of that faux leather, and I had taken a bunch of pictures of this before this project with the measurements and everything, and I mean, not a huge deal. I could take another picture of the vinyl stuff, I guess. All right, there we go. I think that's gonna work. It's gonna be just enough to fold over. Yep, that's worked out great. Okay. And I'm kind of using this ruler as a bone folder a little bit. I do have bone folders here. There's one here. So make sure we get this down. It's nice and burnished. See, that's my idea. See, it just has a little bit of a spine, just a little one. All right. I think it's going to be okay. Yeah. All right. So now what we need to do is we need to cut our corners. If you remember from doing another journal or a junk journal that we were doing, I'm going to seal this up real quick here. I'm going to cut along here. So when we fold this in, it's going to be a nice, neat fit versus, especially this is a thicker material. That'll be so bulky if I don't do this. So let's go ahead and get that done. So I'm just going to come over to the edge here and cut this. I'm going to leave it just a little shy of that point. See that? Just a little bit shy of that point. I'm going to do that all over with all four sides. No, I don't have any adhesive on here yet. I'm just trying to make a little crease for these sides. Okay, of just enough room. So it's a little stiff but it's not paper. So just like I said, I'm experimenting with this material to see how it goes. And then after we make it, I'll give you my my opinion, my honest opinion, whether I like using it or not for books. Just like I said, I thought I would try it. It's because the sheets are so small, and you can only make small journals or booklets with it. They might have it in bigger sheets. I don't really know. I just seen these colors. I thought, oh, those are pretty. So I thought I would try these. The price of it, in case you're interested, it wasn't too bad. I think it was if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like $7.99, and that was 6 sheets. So it's a little over $1 a piece. So I didn't think that was too bad. Of course, I like to do everything on a budget if I possibly can. So you're going to see a lot of different ideas that I have to save money. I mean, what got me into doing junk and art journals in the very first place was because you could upcycle. You could use things you already had. You didn't have to necessarily go and buy a bunch of stuff. At the particular time that I started doing it was right after a family member was really sick in the hospital. They had a heart attack. And so we were kind of short on money. I'll put it that way. And so, but I wanted to do something crafty because for me, it helps me when I'm really stressed out and anxious. It really helps calm me down. So anyway, that's a brief story about that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hear this down. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. So I think I'll do these little short sides first, only because I think it'd be a little easier to do them first. So I'm just going to put this adhesive right onto the faux leather vinyl, whatever you want to call it. It's not real leather. I'd really consider it a vinyl. This fabric that I'm using, it was advertised to use like on Cricut machines or hand cutting, like little bows for little girls, or like faux leather earrings, jewelry, small items like that. That's what this was advertised to do, or what it was advertised for. I'm gonna have to clamp that to get that to glue to get that to adhere to stay down here. But I thought, you know, like I said, I'd try it out with the journal here. Let me get that clamped down. Let me get this one. Yeah, this is definitely going to need a little pressure. And and I'm trying to do this in this video, so usually I would just do something like this and throw a heavy book on it, go make dinner, and come back and finish it. But I want to get through this because this might be a long video, or I just might split this up between doing this step and the signatures and sewing them in. I don't know. We'll see. Because I don't like to make the videos too long. Because some people don't have a lot of time to sit around and watch a video. Sometimes I'm like, okay, get to the point already. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be mindful of your guys' time, because I know time is precious. So, and some of this, you can fast forward through some of this if you already know how to do this part of it. But if you're new, yeah, you can, watch it as I do it. If you'd like to hear me babble along, I'll ramble along. I mean, you can do that too. Because I'm a gabber, always have been. I was one of those little girls when my mom would pick up my report card when I was like in elementary school. Always had talks too much. Always had talked too much on my report card. What? Oh, I guess I'm just a talky person. I'm like my dad. My dad was that way. My dad I'd go shopping with him, and he wouldn't even know somebody, and he'd stand there and talk for about half hour, 45 minutes about whatever men talk about. Be at the hardware store or whatever, or he'd bump into somebody he worked with, and oh boy, then we were there for like a couple hours. So I'm kind of the same way. But yeah, my dear old dad, he was really outgoing. My mom was more the reserved one. But she could be real talkative too, don't get me wrong. Sometimes she'd be in the store and she'd start talking to a lady about whatever, coupons or whatever. But not so much like my dad did, though. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I come by it naturally to be gabby. So, anyway. Alrighty. I think I'm going to let that sit there for a while. I'm trying to think. I do have more clips. I had to think where they were. Alrighty, got my other clips. Part of my, I got a tote that I keep all my bookmaking supplies, and that's where they were. I try to keep things together so I can find stuff when I need it. But sometimes it just takes me a minute to figure out, okay, where did I put it? I still gotta figure out where I put some. Okay. Might need to clip that a little bit right there. That, well, I'll see. Maybe not. I'm just trying to make sure I'm staying in frame for you guys. Because that, another reason I'm doing this is because when I made that journal, when I was showing how to sew in the signatures, I got off frame a lot. And I was like, oh, I was so disappointed when I looked at that video. But I decided to post it anyway. Which at this moment isn't posted yet. It's my next one going up. But anyway, so I like to put them out every 3 days or so. But anyway, so that's another reason I wanted to do this, so I could show you guys again how to sew a signature in, and this time be in frame. Make sure I was in frame. Okay. If I can take these ones off yet. Yeah, I think I could take these off now. These ones. And you can definitely see that I have to have a clamp here. If you don't have clamps and you're using this, you can just like do one side at a time kind of slowly, and then after you got one side down, place something heavy on it, and then once it dried, then go on to the next side. I mean, it just would take you a little longer, but it can be done. You don't have to have all this, anything fancy really. Getting a little bit of that on my fingers. I don't like it on my fingers. If you had glue on your fingers and you go to use your iPhone, it feels, the screen just feels weird, and sometimes it doesn't even read your fingerprint. Oh, that drives me bonkers. And then I have to go scrub my hands, get the glue off. Boy, that was, the sizing of everything just happened to work out, I think. I mean, that part wasn't planned. So, yeah, if you get this material, the biggest you're going to be able to use as far as paper is 8.5 by 11, just regular letter size paper, of course, cut down this way. Okay. I'm going to push this to the side to let this dry. And next, I'm going to show you the pages. Remember, I talked about these real briefly a little bit ago. Okay, so I made a Google document of this. So if anybody wants it, I'll leave the link below in case you want to print your own. And when you go to print it, I double side printed it, and I have an HP printer, and when you click the little check mark where it says print both sides, make sure you put it to flip it on the short side, because I put it on the long side first and one of my pages were upside down. So remember to do it that way, because this is a horizontal or landscape setting. Okay, so basically what I'm doing here is I'm just going to fold each sheet of paper in half. But let me tell you about the measurements on this first and try to explain how I did this, so hopefully it will make sense to you. Let me grab my little cutter here. I actually used a different cutter at the time, but for demonstration purposes, this will work here. Okay. So here's my instructions. This on it. Okay. So when you have your regular full sheet of paper, let's say this piece of paper here, I put it in here, and then if this makes any sense, I cut the paper at 7 1/4 inches. So I move this down to 7 1/4 inch. Let me pull this out of here. Sorry. So I put this on 7 1/4 inch, which should be about right here. And I cut it. And I'll just go ahead and cut this because it's just a scratch piece of paper. And then see how this page is still long. And then I flipped it over. Make sure you turn it. And then you're going to cut it at 6 1/2 inches. So you're going to move this down to 6 1/2 inches. And this is going to, when you move this down here, 6 1/2. This probably won't be perfect. It's only because I'm just doing it for demo. But make sure this will be the top of the sheet. So you're going to start out with the piece of paper, the full sheet, cut at 7 1/4 inch, and you're going to be cutting at this bottom edge. Or it'll be like this. I'm sorry. I don't want to confuse you. So let's start this over. So when you have the full sheet of paper, you're going to move this piece of paper till it's at 7 1/4, and you're going to cut. So in other words, you're cutting off the bottom edge, and then you're going to flip it around, and then you're going to move the paper so it says 6 1/2 inches. So you're going to be cut off the top edge. And there's the width right there. So it'll, like I said, I'm going to leave the instructions on my blog, and that way if you just want to read what I just said, it might make more sense to you. You're welcome to do that. And also if you want to download the printable to it, you're welcome to do it. That will be also on my blog. Again, it's crafterinthemitten.com. I don't have it posted yet, so it might take me a few days, and I'll try to get that written and posted and have it out just before I do this video, or right after, when I post it on YouTube. I mean, I'm going to try. Okay. I do work a full-time corporate job as well, so sometimes time, like I said, time's precious. Okay, so the simplest way I think to do this is just to fold them in half, and then you can use a little bone folder to make sure the edge is crispy, tight, whatever, however you want to word that. So let me do all these sheets. And I'm just doing 10 sheets of paper. I don't believe my sister-in-law has a lot of passwords. Not like me. I have a million. I have all these different things going on. You know, YouTube channel, arts and craftsy stuff, business links, just, you know, a million. You know how that can be. And I know you're not supposed to write your passwords down. Believe me, I know. But I have a Mac computer, and so I use iCloud, and I save all my passwords in my iCloud keychain. So I just use my fingerprinter or do the autofill or whatever, and it puts it in there. But, you know, there's occasions where I don't have a password to something, like stuff I've maybe signed up for, like newsletters or whatever at someone's website years ago, or things like that. Might not be in my keychain. Anyway, point being, it comes in handy sometimes to have a password book, even though there's safer electronic ways to save them. And then my really, really, really important passwords, like my iCloud password, for an example, because that's the one password you don't ever want to lose. But that one I do not have written down anywhere. That one is the one password I make myself remember no matter what. I can forget every other password, but that password, don't forget it, because that's the password to everything else. So anyway, enough of me standing on my soapbox about passwords. Okay. Almost there. One more sheet of paper after this one. Of course, now this will be absolutely perfect because, you know, it's handmade. Last sheet. Okay, so this is my little signature. I'll put them all together here. You don't expect them to be all lined up perfectly. There's a remedy for that, which I might do here. Let's see how it goes. See how bad it is. Okay, there's our sheets. And that's gonna be a nice side. I'm glad I made a 1/4 inch spine because it's a little on the thick side. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, but see how you line them up, how they the closer you to get into the center, the longer that piece of paper gets. And there is a remedy for that. And I'm not like super duper picky, but I might as well show it to you. And might as well do it while I can. I have one of these paper cutters. It's an awesome paper cutter. Now, if you don't have one, don't run out to get one just for this project. But if you're really going to get into crafting and cutting like quite a few pieces of paper at a time, or chipboard or things like this, this is a wonderful tool to have. And I got this with my 40% off coupon, but I didn't get it at Hobby Lobby. I bought this at Joann's, and I got a gift certificate for Christmas or something. I can't remember what occasion it was. So I got this as a good deal. So just keep your eye out for, you know, like 40% off coupons or whatever. And I use the iBoughta app. And I got an extra like 15% back, or I can't remember what it was now. Don't quote me, because it was quite a while ago. It was like a year and a half ago, probably 2 years ago that I've had this. I got this. But anyway, I also had with the iBoughta app, when you go to Joann's, you get, at that time, I don't know about now, you would get like 15% off your whole order, but you get that back through iBoughta money, which they can put it on a gift card, or if you really want them to, you can have it deposited into your bank. But anyway, so I got a good deal on this. Anyway, so I'm going to line this up so I can get a nice clean edge. I don't know if I can cut this many pieces with it. I'll try. Oh, I don't think I can. Here, there's a trick to that. Sometimes you need to make sure this cutting edge, you can see it, this cutting edge is on the opposite end, so you pull down. So I'm going to try that, because it really wasn't cooperating the other way. Well, this is going to be equivalent to cutting 20 sheets of paper, so I don't know if it will cut that much. We will try it. It's either a yes or a no. It'll work or it won't work. No, it's not going to work. Oh, boogers. Well, I could do it this way, I think. Let me try something else here. There's the center of this. Oh, man. Come on, center. There's the center. Let me do it this other way. I'm not going to be able to see that edge very well. Let me try it this other way. Yeah, I'm going to try it this way. See what happens. see what I'm doing? Keeping those pages lined up as if they were folded. And then went down half of the signature here. There you go. It cuts 10 sheets. The 20 was I was pushing it. See now, see how that edge is nice and straight, and how this is still like stair steps, and this one isn't. But now I think I can just put that in here, and then oops, let me get this on the other side, like I was saying. There we go. So I can pull. It's easier to pull sometimes than to push. Okay. This isn't lined up exactly, but close enough. I think that will work. I think I got a little bit of those other pages on that. Okay, there we go. See, that's nice. That looks much neater. Again, it's not going to be perfect. It's handmade. But it did neaten that up a little bit. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to set these aside, and we're going to go back to the cover. And I'm going to remove all these clamps. My lighting's staying good. It's late afternoon. It's almost 5 o'clock. And this is February. So does it stay bright out? I'm surprised it's bright as it is right now. I can tell the days are starting to get longer. Are they long enough yet? No. I love summer. Okay. Let's see how this fits. This is going to go across here. Now, I'm not too worried about that looking short, because I think when you fold it up, it should come up and meet that. I don't know if you can tell or not. But that's, hopefully it will. The sheet should be long enough. Hope I didn't cut the wrong edge off. Of course, I put that 1/4 inch in here. That's what's throwing me off. We will try it. We will see. Worst case scenario, if this is still too short, I can put another, like, not washi tape, but another, like a strip of paper, make it look decorative. So worst case scenario. So I'm not super worried about it. Like I said, it's the first time I've ever used this and made this project. And you don't know things until you try. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to glue just the center down. I'm going to try to get that as close to the center as I can. I think this is the center. I hope you can't hear my dog bark. So I'm going to glue that down. And I'm going to let that sit for a little bit. I'm back now. I let that dry a little bit. So what I've done is I took this top, front page, whatever, and then I creased it over. Creased it really well, like this. And then I did the same thing with the back and creased it over really well as too. So we have this seam, or spine, I should say, going down the center, if you can see that, like that. And we are a little short on the paper, but no worries, I can fix it up. I won't use this paper. I'm just using it as an example, but I can just go ahead and add something decorative on the side, on either side. We'll worry about that when we get that part. So So there's always ways to fix something. I mean, rarely is something like, mistake is so bad you have to throw the project away. You know, it's a happy accident. So it might be really cute, whatever we decide to put on the side there. So anyway, next step is to, of course, adhere these sides down, or the cover, front and back down, I should say. And I'm still using the fabric tack on this. I could have used practically any glue. I could have used a, what do you call it? My brain's going blank. Tacky glue. But I'm already started with this, so I'm just going to stick with this glue. Make sure I got that down nice and well. Okay, and then same thing on this side. There we go. So that looks good. See? I think that looks perfect for what I wanted to do. All right, so I'm going to set this aside again and let this dry. And then after this dries, because I don't want it coming apart when I'm putting the signatures, and then I'll come back and we will sew these signatures in and see how this is going to fit. It's going to fit just right. It's going to look good. Perfect fit. I might put a cover sheet on this too, make it a little prettier than just open it up and there it is. Anyway, yeah, I'll come back a little bit and after this dries, and we will sew the signature in, finish the book up. All right. So I let the cover dry and I glue both of these sides down, the front and the back. And yes, there is a gap showing the cardboard there, or the cracker box, whatever you want to call it. So I decided I'm going to decorate this. So I cut me a couple strips of cardstock. This is a little heavier cardstock. I thought this went well. Kind of looks like the same flowers that are on the cover. Anyway, so I measured these, let me see, 6 3/4 by, I believe this is 2 3/4. So 6 3/4 by 2 3/4. So believe it or not, I don't have a round punch to cut round circles. So, but I want a notch in here. So I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board. It makes a cute little, a little divot. I don't know how to, I guess that's the word for it. Anyway, so I'm going to cut, I got both these sheets together because I want them to be equal to each other. And so I'm going to slide this under here and put that at about, 3 1/4, between 3 1/4 and 3 1/8. It doesn't have to be exactly in the middle, but close enough. So I'm going to go ahead and punch this. I probably shouldn't have done that on top of my glass mat. But see, it makes that cute little shape. You can see that. I think that will be really cute on this. So I'm going to glue this in here. grief. Open that up. See, that will be cute on either side. And then I was going to use this to use as just a cover sheet for the password part. But this is cardstock and it's just too stiff. So I found some other paper. It's about the same weight as this computer paper. It's just regular printer paper, just regular lightweight. So I have a 12 by 12 pack of this paper. It's called My Mind's Eye number 2. And the copyright date's 2015, so I don't know if you can still buy it or not. I got it really cheap. I got this huge pack for like $3.50, so I snagged it up. So I'm always finding little bargains like that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Use any paper that you like. Anything that goes with every scheme you're doing. You don't have to have exactly what I have. And then this is going to go in here. I'm going to sew this in here. First, I think I'm just going to go ahead and glue these pockets in. And then I will sew the signatures in. So let's do this first. I think I'm going to use Fabri-Tac as well for this. Yeah, I think that'll hold enough. I think between that and, yeah, I'll use Fabri-Tac because it's going to be touching the vinyl. Okay. I'm just overthinking it because I want a fine line on the edge. I don't want a real thick line. And I thought a pocket on either side of this password book would be cute. Because like I was saying, my sister-in-law, she writes passwords down, puts it on a little piece of paper and stuffs them in her pocket. So maybe when she gets home from work, she can pull that little piece of paper out. And if she doesn't have time or the energy to write it down, she can stuff it in a pocket and she'll at least have it. And then she can write it down when she has time. She has a pretty busy job, so she works in a kind of factory. I don't know exactly what she does, but anyway, I just know when she comes home, she's tired. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do. That's going to be quite cute. There's some glue on that. I do not want it on there. You don't want to glue it shut. There we go. And then we're going to do the other side. See, I think that was a happy accident because I really wasn't planning on putting a pocket on the side, but it's working out. Works out well. I think I need a little teensy bit more there. That's like really, I like the thinness of it, but I don't think there's enough adhesive for it to stick very well. Okay. There we go. I think that's pretty cute. That looks nice. I don't know, these flowers are kind of bright, but I was wondering, like, oh, but you know, you use what you have, but the brightness of this pink brings this out. I think it'll be cute. I think it'll be really cute. Anyway, so I'm going to let these dry before I go ahead and sew the signatures in. And I will be back a little later. So I'm back, and now what we're going to do is we're going to sew this signature right here with the pages of the password book. We're going to sew these into the cover here. The signatures will be going into the cover. All right, so I went ahead and clamped these these pages together because I didn't want them moving. Oh, they even look, oh, they do look a little crooked. Here, let me fix that. That'd save a little time, but I guess not. So I want these nice and taut and nice and lined up here. I'm gonna pin that or clamp that there. Probably don't need more than one clamp. But I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 clamps anyway. All right, so I went ahead and took a pencil and I found like the center, what I feel like is the center, doesn't have to be exact. And I put a mark there and then I put a dot on either side, kind of in the middle, because this is where I'm going to want my 3 punches to be. So again, we're going to do the 3-hold pamphlet stitch here. And so then I have my, like an awl that I took from my kit, my bookmaking kit here. I'm going to place the cover off to the side for a second. Okay, so I'm going to show you about making these holes. So first, I'm just going to make the first hole into the center. And then I'm going to put a hole where I mark this hole here at the top. And also here down the lower part. And again, these don't have to be like exactly so many inches apart or any kind of measurement. It's just, so they're roughly, oh my goodness, I didn't go through there right. So they're approximately the same distance. You can eyeball that. I'm not sure if that went through properly, so I'm going to do it. What I'm punching into is this soft, old phone book. So just something that's kind of soft like this. You can grab. All right, so now I'm going to fold this in half here. There, I didn't quite get it through the exact spot I wanted to go through. So, see, I'm poking it up through here. I want it to go through that seam. So if you can see that, see, it's going right up through the middle of it. And this side as well. And then this hole as well. Oh, I got unlined up. Oh my. I want these lined up here. There. So I can see light, make sure I can see light through all those holes. Make sure I have them all lined up properly here. There. I don't know if you can tell through on the camera, but you can see light through all of them. Okay, so now I'm going to close this. This is, oh my goodness, right side up. And then I'm going to be really mindful of how I'm putting this in here so that these little arrows, I don't know if you can tell in this picture here, but around this cover, that the picture of this flower group has little arrows going out this way, and it just looks like it's the way it should go. That looks like the up to me, the top. So then I'm going to place this in here, and I want to line this up as well as I can. I'm going to take this pencil and mark where those holes should be. Like one should be there, and then the other one should be here. And then finally this, just making sure I got this, okay. That was kind of hard to see for some reason. Oops, how would I get my head in the frame there and one here? All right, so you can see how I've done that. Line them each up. I don't want that little pencil mark on here. And then also I went ahead and put the thread, well, this is actually embroidery floss that I'm using. I just like it because it's a little thicker and it's decorative. So to do this 3-hole pamphlet stitch, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, it depends on if you want the knot on the inside of the book or on the outside of the book. So wherever you want the knot, that's the side you're going to start. I'm going to want this inside my booklet. So I'll put that hole through here. Oops, I almost forgot one of the most important steps. Oh my goodness. All right, so we have these 3 holes. I'm going to need to poke a hole through this cover. And also this one. And this one. And I want to make sure it got punched all the way through the back end, or the outside, which it has. And I'm just going to go ahead and come through the outside and back in, just so you can make sure there's a nice size hole. Let's see here. So make sure my needle can get through here pretty easily. There we go. I see it better on the inside. Okay. So now, again, make sure I got this going the right way. This is what I want on the front. And of course I want my, okay, and this is the top and top. All right. So then you're gonna, I want the knot on the inside. So I'm starting on the inside, and then I'm gonna put it through the cover. And draw that through. I'll leave pretty good sized tail. Then I'm gonna come over to the outside, and I'm placing it through one of the holes. It could be the top or the bottom. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter, whichever way you want to go. And then I want to place this through the booklet. Here, let me go ahead and place that through here. Just gonna go ahead and bring that through, because sometimes it's just easier to do it that way. And then, oh my goodness, I'm having a hard time finding that hole again. Sometimes you just have to do that so I can see where I'm at. See, I placed that all going through there, and that way I can just put this needle right next to that. There we go. I don't know why I was having a hard time with that one before. And go ahead and bring this through. And now this is the other important part. Now you're going to want to take this thread and go all the way across to the next hole. You don't want to go into this hole. You want to go all the way across to the center. And then through the cover, back out. And then what we're going to need to do is come back up to the center hole. And you want to be really careful as not to go through like part of the string, like through here. We don't want to do that, because that will split it and it will make it really hard to get through to tighten it up. So what I do is I just come up through the center, and then I go back through the book just to make sure that I don't catch it. And then when I come up through here, so I'm catching it, I don't want to do that. And I want it to be on the opposite side of this. So one part of the thread is on this side, and one part of the thread is on the other side. And then go ahead and pull that needle out of there. So when you go to tie the knot, you're on either side of this. And then I want to pull it a little on the taut side. You don't want it too tight, but you want it tight enough so this booklet here isn't too floppy like it is at the moment. So we don't want that. So I need to tighten those up. And I accidentally got through the part I told you not to do. It's really hard not to do that. You just have to be kind of mindful of it. And if that happens, you can just pull it apart like this. Or pull that through there, I mean. So it's not getting tangled up in that. I still got a little piece of it tangled in there. Let me grab my needle here. That's the one thing you want to try to stay mindful of, and see how I need to tighten that up, because that was really loose. Now it tightens up nice for you. See? And you can see here. Oh, it's not too awfully tight. Or not too loose and not too tight. So I'm trying to say, you don't want it either too tight or too loose. And then all I do here is just tie a knot. And do it again. So there you have it. And then you can leave this longer if you want. If you want to tie a little, like a charm or something on that, you can. If not, you don't have to. I'm just going to cut mine short. I'm going to cut them off to make it a little neater. There we go. So there we have it. I finished this little password book. So that part was pretty quick. So there's the top, and here's a little pocket that we left. So you can put something in on either side. And then here's where you can, keep your passwords. Anyway, I hope you like this little project. I mainly wanted to show you this, well, to give you an idea of a little mini journal you can make for, a purpose for a junk journal, which this isn't technically a junk journal because there isn't that much decorating to it. But to show you another idea of making a book, a handmade book. And also I wanted to show you how to do that 3-hole pamphlet stitch again, because I kind of was off the frame last time I was trying to show you how to do that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Again, this is Lori. I'm the crafter in the mitten, and I'll see you again.